Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Mario Cast and the Kid Show. I'm your co-host, Mario Mancini. I'm a former WWE wrestler and co-instructor at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling, along with Pretty Paul Roma, Big Steve Tracy, and the man behind the glass, the producer of the Mario Cast and the Kid Show, Mr. Paul Perez. Seated to the extreme right of me is a man that I sent my bald spot to today, and he said I had alopecia. He is none other than the guardian of chaos, Big Daddy.
Mancini, are you saying that the photo you sent me was the top of your noggin?
It was the top of my noggin, Big Daddy.
I thought it was an old lady's asshole from what I learned. What the fuck are you trying to do to me, Mancini?
You're the one that sent me the picture.
Son of a bitch.
All I have is that I got this hair, and then I got this. I look like I'm wearing a yarmulke.
Well, if you were a woman's pussy, Willow, you would have to get a Brazilian, if you know what I'm talking about.
Big Daddy, all I would need to do is just shave a little more on the right, and then I'd have the perfect.
Then how are you going to see the little man in the canoe?
I'd have the perfect Brazilian on my head.
Did you ever get a Brazilian, Mancini?
No, I've done it myself. I've actually been bald.
Have you ever bleached your asshole?
No, I've never done that, Big Daddy.
Well, I hear it's very common in the professional wrestling world to bleach your asshole. But I'm getting sidetracked.
Big Daddy, I thought it was common to bleach your asshole in the porn industry.
Well, that too, because you do know that
nothing's less attractive, Big Daddy, than seeing the big brown-eyed Betty.
Well, you know that I had a part-time job in the brown-eyed Betty industry at one time, Mancini.
Well, yeah.
But I digress. Fans, coming to you live from the Diadamo and Tracy Bail Bond studio at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility. It is the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. And Mancini, the Kid is back from the Sunshine State. He is also back from his short but brief trip to BangKOK. But Kid, don't say anything yet. The Kid has a huge announcement that we're going to have to get onto. It's major breaking news here.
Are we going to the WWE report right now, Big Daddy?
Fuck the WWE, Mancini. We're not going to the WWE. And Mancini, I didn't say fuck Vince McMahon. That's not what I said. I said fuck the WWE is what I said. That's what I said.
I understand.
All right, now, Mancini, I'm going to need your assistance here before we get on to the Kid's big announcement. I am going to need a drum roll, Mancini. Mancini, could you get your hand off the purple helmet and give me a fucking drum roll, please? Tonight, coming to you live from the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. It is tax season. We do have a federal government shutdown going on as we speak, well over 30 days. I do not like to get too political, and neither does Paul Perez or the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. But Mancini, Kid, Perez, who once again is behind the glass, second generation grappler, producer extraordinaire, Mancini, tonight, the top 10 things you don't want to hear from your accountant. Top 10, Mancini. Seeing that there's a government shutdown right now. Say something funny. Kid, move your feet out of the way. What the fuck is going on here?
What happened? The flight was so long from BangKOK.
Well, did you get stuck on the tarmac or on the runway like a lot of those poor bastards up in Canada who were stuck on there for 18 hours? And you know who was on one of those flights? Indian superstar from India itself, and Impact TNA star Sanjay Dutt was on one of those flights. But I digress because I want to get on to the top 10 list, and more importantly, the Kid's huge announcement. Okay, Mancini, here we go. Drum roll, please, once again. Number 10. I reviewed your bank statements, and they're hilarious. Drum roll, Mancini. Number 9. I lost your W-2s, so I submitted 2 W-1s. Number 8. I spent all night caressing your receipts. Number 7 on the top 10 list of things you don't want to hear from your accountant. I thought you were doing my taxes. Number 6. I'm having a liquidity problem, if you know what I mean. Apparently you don't, because I don't know what the fuck I mean either. Number 5 on top 10 things you don't want to hear from your accountant during tax season and the federal government shutdown. Number 5, Mancini, drum roll, please. Calculator. I don't even know her. Number 4. Is it pronounced IRS or ERS? You certainly don't want to hear that from your accountant. Number 3. And this one is specifically for Mancini. Sign a date next to the cum stain. Number 2 on the top 10 list that you don't want your accountant to say, don't worry, it's not loaded. Oh, or as Mancini would say, was that the goo gun?
Number 1!
And number 1 on the top 10 list you don't want to hear from your accountant due to the federal government shutdown. Can I have your boat when you go to prison? And there it is, Mancini, there it is. The top 10 things that you don't want your accountant to say, seeing that we are on episode 11, tax season, and this fucking government shutdown. I don't know who to blame. I don't care who's to blame. Just get it done. So I digress, Mancini. It's a new segment of the top 10 list. And seated to the left of me, if I can find it, is a man who found out he was colorblind. The diagnosis came completely out of the purple, and that would be the kid. What's going on, Matt? Welcome back from BangKOK.
What's going on, Big Daddy? I was actually the last flight out of Florida to come up to New England. Last one.
Now, did you go from Florida to Bangkok or Bangkok to Florida? And where did you land when you got back from Bangkok?
Yeah, kid.
I went from...
There's a lot of chicanery here at Mario Chaos and the Kid.
I went from Connecticut to Bangkok to Florida, back to Connecticut.
Now, are you familiar with my favorite town, Slap-a-Cock?
Slap-a-cock.
It's within flying distance to Bangkok.
No, I didn't take cockology, so I'm not.
No, I did. You know, I'm an expert in cockology, right? Cockologist 101.
Oh, yeah.
And as Howard Stern once said, cock a doodle-doo. So it's come to my attention and to Mario's attention and to the whole Twitter, media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
MySpace.
MySpace. Is there
There's
even
still MySpace?
No. I'm messing around.
I used to have web TV, man.
I don't even know what that is.
Webbed feet.
Webbed feet.
No, go ahead.
Wow, there's no wonder why you were a quack addict.
I was a quack addict.
How apropos, Mancini. But, kid, we got you here. You're back. So to speak, the band is back together. I know you have a huge media announcement. And as Mancini is yawning right now.
Good thing we're keeping him awake.
Well, you know that a yawn is a silent scream, Mancini.
I didn't know that, Big Daddy.
Well, that's what it is.
I thought you were just fucking tired.
Wow.
No, a yawn is when you're tired, so you get more oxygen in your lungs. So your mouth opens more. Opens up your lungs.
And if anyone would know about
more
that,
air.
it would be the kid who works
kid
for Oxygen Boost.
Boost oxygen.
Well, wait. You know me. Give me 5 spots. I fuck up 4. Is it Boost Oxygen or Oxygen Boost?
Boost oxygen.
Boost Oxygen, man.
Yeah, kid, I never got mine.
Yeah, you left early from alley fights. I was going to give it to you, but you ran off.
Who'd you give it to?
I didn't give it to anyone. I kept it in my car.
Oh, good man.
Well, Mancini.
Does it survive in these chill temperatures?
It does.
It does, really?
It does.
Wow.
Well, because people bring it when they hike. When they go up to the high altitudes, it gets cold up there.
This is a fucking wrestling podcast. You had a huge announcement. What are we talking about?
Boost oxygen. You brought it up.
A story of my life, Mancini. Boost oxygen. Can we get on to the kids' huge announcement? We have a lot of news tonight. It's a big weekend for
How
Paradise
come every
Alley.
time you mention the kid, you say huge?
Well, he's 19 years old.
Oh.
The
He
dog's
knows
tail.
something you don't.
Did I ever tell you the story before the kids' huge announcements? Baltimore, Maryland, circa 1989, traveling with the Samoan SWAT team, the Road Warriors, Freebird Michael Hayes, and let me tell you something. We were at the Baltimore Arena. Now, Mancini, I was just trying to learn the business, and you see where it got me. I had to take a massive dump. I had to take the Browns to the toilet bowl, so to speak. I had sour stomach.
It's the Browns to the Super Bowl.
No, it's the Browns to the toilet bowl, my friend. But Mancini, so anyway, I go into the arena. I even give the courtesy flush. Now, I admit I had a sour stomach. And who comes walking out of the shower, blonde locks flowing past his shoulder, dog's tail swinging in the front? Nobody more than Freebird Michael P.S. Purely Sexy Hayes. He turns and looks at me, and he said, "What the fuck crawled up your ass and died?" I said, "Michael, you fuck with that thing? I've never seen anything like it. You were talking about Virgil and the Anaconda. The whole point was I had to take a massive dump."
Well, Big Daddy, I sympathize with you because back in the mid-'80s, I had a, mainly 1985 and 6, I had a pretty steady roommate, and that was Paul Roma.
Paul Roma.
And when I would take the Browns to the Super Bowl, I'd come out of the bathroom.
It's the Browns to the toilet bowl, Mancini.
He would look at me and say, "I am totally convinced that someone died in your intestines." He goes, "An actual human being died in your intestines." Yeah, listen, the rib we do in Indiana is Roma calls the 2 rookies that we bring, and in the room, and he goes, "Listen, Mario and I have to come down and talk to you very serious about tonight's show." So Roma's the lead guy in, and then I slip to the left into the bathroom while he talks to them, and I crunch one, and then when I come back out, we both run out of the room.
Now, when you say you crunch one, Mancini, could you please break that down to the listening audience? Well, you know what? Let's not get into that because we're again, we are oversighting the superstar in our midst. That would be the kid. So I am going to shut up for at least a minute or two because the kid has a huge announcement. The floor is yours, kid.
Floor is mine. So big announcement time. Everyone's been waiting for it as Mario runs for the races. Be taking my talents to Fightful.com, stepping away from BodySlam.net, going to greener pastures and the upper echelon of wrestling and boxing, MMA. Everyone knows. We've talked about it on the podcast before.
Holy shit, kid. Are you telling me that you are taking your talents to Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp?
I am. You got to join the best.
Let me just tell you something in my opinion. You know, I've been around a long time. I'm all new at this social media and technology and the cutting leaders in this industry, whether it be Conrad Thompson, Bruce Pritchard, JD from New York. Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful is at the top of the food chain. Now listen, make no mistake about it. Bodyslam.net, like I've said before, is like a Viagra. They're on the rise. They're very quick in their reporting. An excellent group. But to get an opportunity to go with Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful, which is the leader in pro wrestling and mixed martial arts. And I will say this. Sean Ross Sapp has some nice hair.
He does.
Big Steve Tracy has nothing on Sean Ross Sapp. So you're taking your talents there. Can you expand as to how this happened?
Expand. I don't want to put too much on too little people, but, some things happen with bodyslam.net. A little bit of a kerfuffle here and there.
Did you just say kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle. You like that word?
I thought he said kerfuckle.
He could have said kerfuckle. But go ahead.
I like that word, Big Daddy. I might use that. I like that.
Kerfuffle.
What a kerfuckle.
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 Almost
Would
sounds
that
like
be-
turnbuckle.
Turnbuckle. Would that be like when you said you wanted to be on Twitter as opposed to Twitter? Is that similar?
Kinda, because you're saying kerfuffle?
Well, I think you've got it licked, Mancini. Now, last week, the kid wasn't here. First off, that's a huge announcement, and I want to get back to that. Mancini, was it 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, or was it 2 in the stink and 1 in the
Big
pink?
Daddy, if you ever put 2 in the stink, you're gonna get a slap. It's 2 in the pink.
It's like that.
Whoa!
Oh, the kid at 19 years old looks like the Vulcan from Star Trek.
Oh, the kid.
The kid gets it, Mancini.
The innocence is withering away.
Wow, so you're saying it is officially 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. Now, are you into things like that, Mancini?
Well, Big Daddy, not only that, but while you're doing that, you've got to attack the little man in the boat.
Stroke! 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 Now, I'm going to ask this
Big
question.
Daddy, you Billy Squire?
I could be.
Stroke me, stroke me. Go ahead.
Speaking of that, Mancini, your car karaoke is taking off by leaps and bounds. Michael Bolton, Michael McDonald, Michael Jordan. I don't know what the fuck you're singing.
I sent Big Daddy a video today, and with and fortunately I have a vehicle that I can rewind my music. I can hit the button that plays it over again. So while it was playing, I sent Big Daddy a video and I said, dare me to sing this. And it was the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees, Mancini, I will say, I only saw the video from the waist up. Is it possible that somebody was kneeling in front of you and squeezing your testicles while you were singing the Bee Gees?
Big Daddy, let me tell you what it's called. It's
Tell me.
called a falsetto.
A falsetto.
When you sing in a falsetto, like the Bee Gees, like Frankie Valli.
Well, I gotta say, Mancini, I'm very impressed. I have to say that I believe the WWE Network will pick up your instant classic car karaoke videos at any moment now at about the same time that Vince offers me that contract. It's coming. It's coming, Mancini. But let's get back to, we're 11th episode. The kid wasn't here last week. I don't think anything has changed. Pissed off or pissed on? Has anything changed since you've come back from Bangkok and the Sunshine State?
It's still pissed off. I don't think it's ever going to change, actually.
You don't know that for sure.
Unless something derails
Look, I don't even have to ask Perez. He's consistent. Every week within 3 seconds, Perez is hand up. He wants to be pissed on. Mancini, you've
Pissed
given
off.
it.
Pissed off. I don't want to be pissed on, nor do I want to piss on anybody. Although, Big Daddy, metaphorically, I've been pissed on many times in my life. Metaphorically.
Well, Mancini.
How is that metaphor? Wait, hang on. How is that
Well,
metaphorically?
the kid just told me to hang on. Go ahead, kid.
How is that metaphorically? What story is this?
Well, I've been married 3 times.
No, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Mickey Rourke. Come on.
Okay, so that's Mickey Rooney.
Mickey.
Mickey Rourke. It's Mickey Rooney.
Mancini, can I fuck up anymore? I've gone back and I've listened to every podcast, and boy, Bully Ray hit the nail right on the
kid, when
fucking
people
head.
go, I'm sick of getting shit on. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, you're into a lot of shit, Mancini, but
metaphorically getting pissed on. I'm done getting pissed on.
Wait, that brings up another question. Would you rather?
You know what, Mancini? You missed the whole fucking setup. I tried to set you up 3 fucking times on this, and you didn't do it. You missed every spot. You missed every cue. Perez is waving at you. I'm giving you the fucking high sign.
What did I miss?
You're into a lot of shit, but I'm not into that.
Oh.
Would you rather be pissed on or shit on?
The floor is yours, Mancini.
Oh, no. That goes beyond anything I know. The fecal matter, the
Listen,
here's the deal.
Holy Christ.
I'm into a lot of stuff, kid. I can teach you a thing or two. However, that bestiality stuff,
listen, this is going to be a podcast about professional wrestling.
Defecating on people, urinating on people, that's just animalistic. I would never do that.
Mancini, what the fuck are we talking about right now? We went from the proverbial pissed off to pissed
listen
on.
to me. The kid's a young man, and he has questions.
He just got back from BangKOK. He doesn't have that much of question. He got like 8 rubbing tugs out there, he told me. It only cost him like 30 cents. So is that like 5 cents a stroke? Rub, tug. Anyway, listen, Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, I want to apologize for bringing the kid down to our level because myself, Mario Mancini, Paul Perez, the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast, we don't give a fuck. But the kid does, and we want nothing but good things for him. And we're so happy that the kid is moving on to Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp and Fox Sports and ESPN Sports. Again, in all seriousness, I'm putting the chicanery aside, and I know it's your favorite word, kid.
Chicanery.
We're very happy for you and proud of you, kid. You're on the rise, just like a lot of the stars and the blue chippers and the prospects here at Paradise Alley that are being trained by Mario Mancini, Paul Roma, and Paul Perez. We have several workers that are coming up and making their debut. We have a huge weekend coming up this weekend for Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. The same weekend that NXT TakeOver is in Phoenix. The same weekend that the Royal Rumble, the 32nd annual Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken, is taking place on Sunday night. So it's a huge weekend in the world of professional wrestling with NXT TakeOver, the Royal Rumble, and obviously Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling presents New Year's Retribution and Friday Night Alley fights the night before, kid.
I just got a text from Holiday, so
you are getting a text live right now from the most marketable man in professional wrestling. The consumers are buzzing. Richard Holiday?
He did.
I noticed there's a lot of stuff on social media with Holiday and with, and you know I'm always getting things wrong here. I'm fucking up all the time. Is it Logan Stone?
Jackson Stone.
See, there it is. Look, Perez is giving me the finger right now because he said, Big Daddy, what the fuck are you doing? What's his name again?
Jackson Stone.
Jackson Stone. I've seen
Lights,
a lot
camera,
of his
marketing.
Now, excuse me. God bless you, Mancini. Lights, camera, marketing. Now, they're trying to get a tag team together, Holiday and Stone. Am I correct? Stone is from the UK.
I know they're trying to get bookings for it. They just put out promo video.
God bless you, Mancini.
That's what Holiday was texting me about.
Well, I know that Holiday and Stone are out there. I know Mario weeks back had mentioned that Stone and Holiday may be getting booked as a tag team in the future for Paradise Alley. It has not come to fruition, along with every other fucking thing that Mancini says. But that is okay, because I love him like a brother. It was only once I was drunk. He was wearing a dress. I tripped and it fell into his mouth. But that's a story there was a duct tape involved. That's a story for another time. Welcome back, Mancini. We have a lot of people to thank before we get on to the big news here at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. And if the fans out there heard this morning on WFAN, it's on Twitter, on the morning show with Boomer and Gio.
Yeah, but the Big Daddy, they dumped you quick, man. I felt bad.
It wasn't me.
I felt bad. And they badmouthed you.
Mancini, first off, it was not me that was on the Boomer and Gio morning show on WFAN. It was Vince from Stamford, Connecticut.
I know it was.
Well, so how the fuck are you saying that it's me? He talked about, whoever Vince is from Stanford talked about Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. How the fuck was that me? I was at work at that time, Mancini.
You got shit out quicker than Miralax.
Oh, Kid, that was a shit. Listen, the Kid.
You get all pissed off. Hey, you get his podcast then.
Listen.
What, how about the mid-morning guys love you?
Listen, Evan.
They give you free plugs.
Listen, Evan and Joe from the morning show, the mid-morning show, you're right. Evan and Joe love Mario Chaos and the Kid. Patrick Mahar from the Rap on Mad Dog Radio love Mario Chaos and the Kid. Scotty Wetzel on Overnights on the Rap. Mr. Vegas, they love Mario Chaos and the Kid. Listen, former legendary ring announcer, WWE star Justin Roberts loves Mario Chaos and the Kid. And you know who else reached out to me today?
Michael Bolton?
Fuck Michael Bolton!
Hey!
Listen, I love Michael Bolton, but I tweeted Michael Bolton your song, and that cocksucker did not get back to me. He didn't get back to me, Michael Bolton, and I thought you did it just like him. I'm just saying. So, Michael, if you're listening...
He didn't get back to you?
No, Bolton didn't get back to me.
Are you sure it was his real Twitter?
You probably did a backup Twitter.
It said it was his Twitter, but
Did
I know there's a lot of fake accounts out there.
Yeah, did it have a verified check?
Yes, it had a kid. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night.
Why don't you send him the show?
Well, listen, the show is expanding by leaps and bounds. We have veteran grapplers, such as yourself, that have come on board. One of them is the inhuman PCO, who shouted out at your boy, Pierre Carl Alouette, from the old WWE.
The fuck are these people?
Don't ever fucking say who is PCO. Google it. YouTube it. You know who he is. You've seen him before. Frankenstein. Unhuman PCO. Jean-Pierre Lafitte Alouette. He's unbelievable. That's beside the point. He's one of us. He's old school. And he's on board with Mario Chaos and the Kid. As is legendary Hispanic grappler, one of the toughest son of a bitches I've ever seen work, Dan Moff. It doesn't get much better than Dan Moff. And you know who else? Because you reminded me.
Is he related to Frenchie Martin?
I'm not sure, but PCO is no one to be trifled with. And you know who else is on board with Mario Chaos and the Kid? And the kid's going to Google it right now.
Michael Bolton?
Fuck Michael Bolton.
Okay, see, he's not going to send this to Michael Bolton. If
I love Michael Bolton. Listen, I've gotten laid to Michael Bolton many, many times. I was balls
To or with?
We don't have to go over the poem Balls Deep, do we? To or with. Kid, you get it. The kid is starting to get it. But listen, Mancini, all the different people, even Bo Dietl. You know who Bo Dietl is?
I do know who Bo Dietl is.
But I want you to check this out. From ECW, the quintessential stud muffin. I believe he's starting a porn channel. Joel, if I didn't put it in her to hurt her, I'm hurting her. Gertner. Do you know who Joel Gertner is? I don't know if I said that line right. Joel, the quintessential stud muffin. Gertner. Unfucking believable. Classic. Show Mancini that picture. Reminds me a lot of you, Mancini.
He cut a nice promo at the Hammerstein for an ECW event. I think
Joel Gertner was a legend in his day, man.
I think 2005 or 2006.
I think I said that wrong. The way I said, if you don't put it in her, you're hurting. I don't know what the fuck I said. You know who said I'm always getting my information wrong? The man with the largest arms in Paradise Alley professional wrestling, Hakeem Ali. He said, Big Daddy, you're always getting the information wrong. And I said, well, nobody fucking gives me any accurate information in Paradise Alley.
Well, Big Daddy, I tapped into the alley room today and said, would somebody please get a hold of Big Daddy and give him the lineup for Friday night?
Well, thank God for Sergeant Murray.
Because okay, so somebody did.
Are you familiar with Morning Men on Mad Dog Radio?
No.
Mike Babchick. Another big fan of Mario Chaos and the Kid. And anyone who's listening, you better go out there and Google and YouTube these people.
Can you tweet Nick Manning and see if he can be a fan?
Nick Manning?
I'm a big fan of Nick Manning.
Who the fuck is Nick Manning?
You don't know who Nick Manning is?
No, I don't. School me.
He's a porn star.
Nick Manning. I like Rocco Siffredi myself.
And he's famous for every time he finishes, he goes,
I hope no one's listening right now.
"Oh, dropping loads!" every single time. In fact, my favorite scene is this.
Go ahead,
my
Mancini, your
scene
favorite
is
scene.
he was with a girl with glasses. And then he goes, "Oh, dropping loads all over your glasses!" I laughed my ass off. Because you know what?
Mancini.
A lot of people watch porn too.
Well, I only watch it for about 5 seconds.
Well, that's what people really watch porn
I'm
for.
just
But
saying.
a lot of times I watch porn for comic relief.
Well, there's a lot of comedy with the background music, and they do parodies.
Do you know
You're right about that.
Do you know who introduced comedy into porn?
Ron Jeremy.
Correct.
Well, come on. He's a legend. The Hedgehog. Yes. The Hedgehog, Ron Jeremy. Listen, is this an award show for porn? Let's get on. Listen, folks, fans, we apologize for this, Perez.
I will tell you this.
Go ahead, Mancini.
I found this very nice. I found this interesting that for the first time in about 4 years, I watched an episode of Shameless last night.
Shameless.
I can never get into that.
Now, the big star in Shameless is William H. Macy.
William H. Macy.
And his sperm count was dead. So he was going to a sperm bank. So his sperm count was dead. He looked at the nurse and he said, "Do you have anything better in the men's room I can get off to? Like, you got any Nina Hartley?" And what
an apple on her.
Well, listen, Nina Hartley's my all-time favorite porn star.
Well, she had quite the derriere.
And I met her. It was amazing. You know who introduced her to me?
Adrienne Barbeau.
No, Tony Capone.
Tony Capone.
The Godfather introduced me to Nina Hartley.
The Godfather from the NAWA.
That's right.
The Godfather from the 1999 Westchester County Civic Center show, Slam Jam 99, where you don't fucking remember that I was on the show from a guy who claims he's like Mike Francesa. He has the brain of an elephant. You don't fucking remember shit. But you remember that, though. You remember that, Mancini.
So I found it interesting because William H. Macy was in Boogie Nights and Nina Hartley was his wife in Boogie Nights. And just a little sidebar, little tidbit.
Did you say sidebar? How relevant is that, Mancini?
Well, a little tidbit, not to go off the rails. Big Daddy, there had to be different dressing rooms that night.
I told you I shared my dressing room with the fucking mop closet. Again, I keep telling you, fucking punch it up,
Big Daddy,
Mancini.
if you were there that night, why didn't you sit next to me and strike up a conversation?
Because I was in the upper balcony with fucking Jim Cornette and with John Diamond and Tony DeVito, and I was in the locker room. You stayed in the locker room. Our match was one of the first matches.
Well, Big Daddy, I don't mean to sound like a pompous asshole.
Well, you are sounding
I really
like just
don't
an
sound
asshole,
like
not pompous.
I don't mean to sound like a pompous asshole, but if I see Afa, which I did, and I gave him a kiss on the cheek, and I see Bruno, and I see Bundy, then that's what I grew up with.
Well, I
in
get
the
it. That's the pinnacle. With those people
But
around.
those are the people I hang
time out,
around with.
Time out. I'm going to give you a little bit of credit. With those people around, and then with having Bruno Sammartino there, who the fuck would remember if I was there except for me? But again, I'm going to tell you, because if you remember correctly, at the last minute, it was a 20-man battle royal, Mancini, and they asked me to participate.
I did not participate
in the battle
in that.
royal.
I
I know that. But I'm telling you, there was a 20-man battle
But
royal.
Big Daddy, what I'm saying is this. I would remember, as I remember
I fucking
sitting
talk to you, Mancini.
sitting with Bundy and Sammartino in a triangle, 3 chairs, for about 2 hours, an hour and a half. And I remember kissing Pops, and I even remember Bundy coming in for the night when he first walked in. He said, "Mancini, go get my money."
I remember the story.
And I
Mancini.
went over to Capone. I said, "Chris wants his money."
You know why you don't remember me? You know
Because
why?
you didn't sit next to me.
'Cause
You
you-
weren't cordial to me.
You know why? Because you don't give a
No,
fuck.
this is what This is what
That's
I think,
why.
Big Daddy. This is what I think, and I don't blame you guys. I don't. I think just like the New
You
England,
snubbed me.
Just
You
like
snubbed
no,
me.
just like the New England.
You kayfabed
No.
me.
Just like the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. The independent guys stick with the independent guys, and the WWE guys stick with the WWE guys. I think that's what happened.
You cocksucker.
Big Daddy, why didn't you strike up a conversation with me?
Because I talked to you when you came in the door.
Would you would say hello? Hey, how you doing?
And if that's the case, that the WWF guys stick with the WWF and the independents stick with the independent, why the fuck was I talking to Bruno? Why the fuck was I talking to Cornette, Alpha, and
But
everybody else?
where were you
Why?
all night? And why didn't I meet Cornette? I met Cornette for the first time in 2015 at the Hall of Fame. Why didn't I meet Cornette? Listen, I met Cornette on the bottom of the escalator as he was coming
Perez,
down.
Can we get off this fucking story now that me?
Listen, as he was coming down the escalator, I was walking up to him and I said,
Thank you, kid.
Mario Mancini. He goes, I know full well who you are. I said, okay. How come I didn't meet him that night?
I am going to, like the guy that night that was wearing the dress and the duct tape, I'm going to get the video proof once and for all and stick it up that George the Animal Steel, Harry Cooley Motts of Mancini. Let's get on to, as Mancini's trying to do some sort of investigative work here, but I have the actual videotape. Let's get on to, Perez, how many minutes in are we? 35, 36 minutes in. We haven't talked anything about professional wrestling, nothing about Paradise Alley. Here we go, Mancini.
He's on a phone call.
This Friday, Free for All, our Fan Appreciation Day, kind of at night, though. Friday Night Alley Fights, Free for All, this Friday. Kid, let's run down the card because Mancini is distracted as usual. Here we go. In attendance, the flamboyant one, Kenny Roberts, I'm Rick James, bitch, is taking on Mr. Wiggle Wiggle from the Sexy World Order, Gino DeGod. Break it down, kid.
Gino seems to put himself in a lot of predicaments where he's with people bigger than him.
Well, Mancini is taking a phone call or making a phone call
was
in the middle of the podcast.
He thought he was talking to someone, but it was the answering
Mancini
machine.
thinks he's going to prove me wrong when he knows it can't be done. Because when we get off the air, I'm going to show him the video from that night. Because I have it here with me. So I'll show you, Mancini. Let's get on to Friday Night Alley Fights. Free for all. That's right, fans. Here from the Diadamo and Tracy Bailbond studio at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility. Showtime Marcel Williams and all hail the king, Nutrius X. Take on the United States Heavyweight Champion Sergeant Murray and the IC Champion Zachariah Gibbs at Free for All this Friday, kid. Break down that tag team match. A lot of animosity in this one.
It's a first time ever, and we haven't seen this before, and it's fresh, which is good, especially in a tag team match. We don't really see these teams go against each other.
Well, there's a lot of heat, Matt.
There is, and it's obviously all four of these guys they're going to be in separate matches, one for the Intercontinental, one for the U.S., so it's going to be cool to see all of them in one match.
Well, 3 out of the 4 men in this match have been champions before or are currently champions, and Nutrius X is the king. Now, Nutrius has been involved in that bitter feud with Gino, so there's still bad blood there. He could be distracted. I know there's a lot of heat between Showtime and Chump Suckers aware. Him and Sergeant Murray, there's a lot of heat. And you know what? I don't think X takes too kind to the Intercontinental Champion, Zachariah Gibbs, who we all well know, and it's well documented that at All In the Mohegan Sun Casino, he pinned Mario Mancini. You know he pinned you, Mancini.
Got lucky!
It's not no
He got lucky!
He pinned you at Mohegan Sun Casino.
I wasn't
All or
looking!
nothing.
I wasn't looking!
You weren't looking.
I just came back from BangKOK.
Well,
I think I ran into him.
Wait, did you guys say there was a cockfight in BangKOK? Now that would be Roosters, El Gallo Tres Huevos.
I hope so.
Wow, Mancini, listen, the snot-nosed kid did pin you. You know that. Got lucky or not. That's a sore spot. Mancini he gets pissed off. Well, I guess it's better than being pissed on. Back to our question. Friday Night Alpha Fights, the main event, kid. The House of Pain put up the tag team titles, Nick Payne, Hakeem Ali, against Zafir Al-Rahihi, Maxim Morozov. Collusion. Oh. Tell me. Break it down for the tag team titles.
We've seen these before, and last time we saw them face each other, we commentated that together. But remember, we kept talking about Collusion giving House of Pain their all. And House of Pain, they looked tired in the match. They cut the ring very well. They expended the House of Pain's energy very well. If it was a 2 out of 3 falls match, we would have saw Collusion win. But House of Pain's going to win again here.
Well, that's a bold prediction now that you're with Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp, but I'm going to break it down this way. The reason why House of Pain may be a little tired, as you say, there's several tag teams coming at them from all areas whenever they show up at a building and a venue. There's a lot of tag teams here in Paradise Alley. It's expanding by leaps and bounds. Al-Rahihi and Morozov took it to the ass of the House of Pain, but Hakeem Ali and Nick are training as hard as I've ever seen them.
But the main thing why they tired them out was cutting the ring off.
It's tag team work.
Not allowing quick tags, cutting the ring, keeping one man on that side. And if you have one man in against 2 other guys, ring in half. As I say again, it's harder.
Well, Mancini has compared Al-Rahihi and Morozov to an 80s version, an updated version of the Sheik, the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, but that's going to be one hell of a match. Fans, that's this Friday night. It's free for all. It's our fan appreciation day, but at night. Be down here, folks. You can't miss it. There's going to be a lot of stars. There's going to be some debut matches. I even heard a rumor that Big Jim Anderson may be in the arena down here on Friday night. So fans, this could be one of the bigger Friday nights that we've had in quite some time. It is our fan appreciation night. Coming up the very next day, kid, as Mancini rubs out the purple helmet. Mancini, try not to shoot any of that over here, please. Could you get a fucking towel or something? He's got a Diet Pepsi. It's squirting all over the place. Hold on a second. Here we go. The following night, kid. Saturday night, January 26th, Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling presents New Year's Retribution to kick off 2019, kid. We got a lot of big matches. Blue Chippers, Prospects. The opening bout is Mr. Intellectual Tavius against Flash Waller. 2 Roma prodigies, Roma-trained students. This is a showcase match to open up Paradise Alley. Go ahead, break it down. You know both these young rookies very well. They're in your demographic.
I was watching them train last night. They're going to put on a good match from what I saw last night. They worked their ass off. I don't know how many times they're here a week, but I know they're here at least 3-4 times. So they're working their ass off.
Well, I can say that the Mr. Intellectual Tavius is in phenomenal shape. He is a natural athlete. I can't say enough about Flash Waller. I've seen him work several times down here. He is unbelievable. Both these students have the goods. They're both top prospects, and I believe early, obviously, in 2019, they are contenders for Rookie of the Year, so I'm interested to see that matchup.
And from what MIT told me, he's put on 15 pounds of muscle in the past couple months. He looks good.
Matt, like I said, I know you've been down here, kid, if you will, and you've been scouting both workers. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, returning. And you know I don't like them. They just got back from the camel toe races or the camel jockey races. I'm not sure which. But Aladdin and Aladdin Ding from the Pyramids of Power return to New Year's Retribution. They are the Battlefront Tag Team Champions as they take on the man with the best brows in the business, Ty Shine, and High Voltage Omar. Break down that tag team bout, kid.
Ty Shine, coming back. Also, because we haven't seen Pyramids of Power in a little bit. But, Ty Shine has been here week in, week out. We haven't seen Pyramids of Power in a little bit. So I kind of want to
Ty Shine was trained by Kevin Landry, who was in the WWE, who was trained by Paul Roma. So the connection is there. It doesn't get any better than that. And Mancini, now that you're back, you do know that's going to be at Retribution. The Pyramids of Power, Aladdin, and our good friend, Ala Ding Ding. Shama lama
lama lama lama
lama lama ding dong.
Hey, you put the ooh mama back into the sunshine.
Hey, that is
why you gotta shoot it. Yeah.
Otis, my man. Mancini, I'm glad to see that you're back with us. Let's get back to Retribution, Mancini. Also, in a beard match, the IC champion Zachariah Gibbs, who's out churning something, I don't know what it is, takes on All Hail the King, Nutrius X. We know that X went over Gino in the hair match. Now he's in the beard match. I mean, what's coming next? The pubic hair match? Break it down. Somebody.
There's your breakdown, Big Daddy.
Mancini, that was quite the apropos breakdown. How does the King of Paradise, Nutrius X, get involved in all this chicanery? First,
I knew it was coming.
You knew I was going to.
I knew you were going to say
just
chicanery.
like Trump
He has
shaved
a beard?
He does have a beard, or he might have
It's a little bit more of a it's a little bit more of a goatee.
A little bit more of a goatee. But
So what is this, a goatee versus beard match?
Well, goatee versus beard, just like Donald Trump shaved Vince McMahon's head, King Nutrius X shaved the Gino the God's head, the Sexy World Order. Now let's see, who do you like in this beard match between Gibbs and X?
I gotta go Gibbs because he's got more hair to fight for in this match, so he's gonna be more inclined to win.
Well, X is the King of Paradise, and he is certainly more of the veteran and the more experienced than Zachariah Gibbs. Although Gibbs Roma trained, that ought to be an interesting match, kid. A beard match, a first ever here in Paradise Alley.
I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward.
Next, we have for United States Heavyweight Championship. Chump suckers are all going to be there. Showtime Marcel Williams. That's enough. Boy, we have a lot of flatulence going on down here at the Diadamo and Tracy Bailbon studio. What the hell is going on?
We can have
United States match, kid. Showtime Marcel Williams takes on the defending champion, Sergeant Murray
Marcel
at
Williams.
Retribution.
I'll take Marcel Williams.
Well, that was fast. You jumped on that quick. Now, listen, Sarge has held on to the title for quite some time. I realize Showtime is the former Intercontinental Champion. He is the former Heavyweight Champion. He's a savvy ring veteran. But the Sarge is just a man beast. I'm surprised you jumped so quickly on Showtime.
I'm going to take Showtime all day.
Well, fans, that is for the United States Championship. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure who I'm going to lean towards. Here is a triple threat match for New Year's Retribution. The flamboyant one, Kenny Roberts. Gino, the god of sexiness, and making his return. He's mobile, agile, hostile, and nimble. Big Jim Anderson. And before you even say anything, I don't think Kenny or Gino stand a snowball's chance in hell in that match.
Maybe together they might have a chance, but
listen, together, separate. Big Jim is on a roll. He called out the locker room. He's got a nasty disposition since coming back from injury. Listen, you know I love Kenny Roberts. Gino the God has the heart of a champion. I just don't think they're going to be able to.
Because I always say motivation is key. Whoever has more motivation and drive to win, more reason to win, is the person I'm going to take.
Wow.
Because the person with the most to lose.
Well, I'm going to go with you, kid. I'm going to go with Big Jim Anderson.
Because if he comes back and doesn't prove to what he used to be, then all that time off was nothing from injury.
You know what's waiting in the wings, the Meadowlands Monster and the tag team of Revelation. So I'm interested to see Big Jim come back and annihilate Paradise Alley. Also, listen, you haven't talked to Big Jim like I have. You think PCO is a tough son of a bitch, and I love PCO? Big Jim Anderson could be the PCO of Paradise Alley. And I'm going to say
at least it's not the POS of Paradise Alley.
Well, what does that even stand for?
POS? Piece of shit.
Oh, kid, I'm not into all these updated abbreviations on social media.
Every time you say those initials, the only thing I can think of is PC principal.
Well, break it down, Mancini. What is the PC principle? Break it down.
Politically correct principle on
fuck the politically correct principle, Mancini.
On South Park.
I don't care about that. Mancini, where have you been for the last 15 minutes?
Have you ever watched South Park? It's hilarious.
Yes, I've watched South Park, but I am more of a fan of Brockmire because I love baseball. Brockmire with Hank Azaria. Have you ever watched Brockmire, Mancini? Because you have been Brockmired several times.
No,
I'm
a big Family Guy.
You like Family Guy?
I love Family Guy.
I love Family. He's brilliant.
Well, that is for the 18 to 25 demographic, man.
Yeah, well, listen.
I don't think he fits that.
Yes, he does. Sure he does.
Seth is brilliant. He's a brilliant guy.
Listen, that is classic.
He's from Hamden, Connecticut.
Is he really from Seth? Is from Hamden, Connecticut?
Seth MacFarlane is from Hamden, Connecticut.
I believe I might have seen that. So there's a lot of talent that comes out of the Constitution State, the Nutmeg State, here in the shadows of the World Wrestling Entertainment and Titan Sports.
In the state of the sperm whale.
Oh, kid, I see you've been doing your research. The sperm whale. Let's get back onto Retribution because we do have the main event for Retribution, which I'm not sure if I have it or if I've announced it, but I do know one thing for sure. Richard Holiday will be in attendance at Retribution for all the Holiday fans. He just signed with MLW. Look for big things in 2019. He's the face of Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling, and he's going and growing by leaps and bounds. Holiday will be at New Year's Retribution. So fans, to wrap it up for Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling News.
If you didn't know that, Big Daddy, read that right there.
Well, let me read it. The kid is being interrupted here by the sperm whale.
See what
The sperm whale is the official state animal of Connecticut. The sperm whale played a significant role in the history of Connecticut in the 1800s and is now a federal endangered species list. Well, seeing that he's a federal endangered species list, I wonder if the Trump federal government shutdown right now will affect the sperm whales. What do you think, Mancini? Would a federal government shutdown affect the sperm whales? I can't get anything out of anybody tonight. I don't know. You know what? Perez, I'm going to say this to you and the kid. What is the difference between deer nuts and beer nuts? Now think about it. No answers. Well, deer nuts are $1.75. That's beer nuts are $1.75, but deer nuts are under $1. Mancini is showing all these videos. I even fucked up my own joke. Mario, is that you, Mancini? That is tremendous. I gotta say,
Big Daddy, are you trying to tell me that the sperm whales of Connecticut are not important to talk about?
No, I think that they are being affected by the federal government shutdown.
So you're trying to tell me these sperm whales are important?
I didn't say impotent. I said they're endangered.
Why would they be in danger?
Now, I was just looking at a video, a training video with yourself.
Yes.
I'd have to say, Mancini, for your age, you still have the moves to get in the ring. Mancini, very impressed with that video. You still have what it takes, brother.
God. How is that?
I just think that you still have the moves. I saw the video. You can still do the sunset flip better than anybody.
I'm gonna give you the sunset flip.
This show number 11 has been a little odd, a little off
Too
here.
much chicanery.
I'm not even sure if there was enough chicanery. Perez, how many minutes in are we?
An hour.
54 minutes. We're going to break something down quick here coming up this weekend. Folks, first off, go to JD off the script. His rants about the revival were classic. We have the Royal Rumble coming up this weekend, the 32nd annual edition. We have the Phoenix NXT TakeOver, Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Gargano and Ricochet, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler. Kid, briefly break down NXT TakeOver on Saturday.
Well, Belair, she's undefeated. Shayna, she was supposed to come up to the main roster a couple months ago. Last year in the Rumble, we saw the champions from NXT, Andrade, and I forget who. I think it was Shayna.
Cien Almas is unbelievable.
Well, now it's Andrade. They changed his name.
Just Andrade.
Yeah.
I get it, but you know what? I don't give a fuck.
I don't like the name change. But I think with Black and Ciampa, I think Black takes the title back.
Listen, that's going to be that NXT match, Ciampa and Black, is going to be better than anything that's on Royal Rumble.
Black is pissed off.
Well, do you think he would want to be pissed on? Did I ever tell you the story about Harry Fuji in the locker room?
No.
I digress. Also, Gargano and Ricochet. It doesn't get any better. Two unbelievable workers, probably better than any match that's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
It is, yeah, the card's probably going to be better than the Royal Rumble. You got Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles yet again. So
that's going to be an unbelievable match, though. But the one I want to see, and I don't think it really makes any sense, but I'm a huge fan of his, Brock Lesnar's in the main event against Finn Balor. Now, listen, Brock has been in excellent matches with smaller men, whether it's been AJ Styles, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. This is going to be a good match. Balor and Brock will work good, but I don't understand the whole, listen, Balor's extremely talented, but I don't get it. And you know it was supposed to be Braun Strowman.
It was, but
he botched that promo so fucking bad.
Braun's promos are terrible. Because he had too much time off. That's the thing. He wasn't staying in the loop of his promos. I had him, sit a little bit with injury, but they've had this Balor plan since November from when Braun had surgery.
Well, I can't wait. Listen, the natural progression here is Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is getting more involved leading into the Royal Rumble and into WrestleMania. Well, I don't like the setup with Balor, though. I know he produces great matches with smaller talent. Mancini would fit right into that smaller talent parts. But I do... Wait, was he paying attention, kid?
He's playing pool.
He's playing pocket pool. You know what I noticed? And Perez brought this up pre-podcast, and I think it's because of All Elite and AEW. They're starting to really bring in the mid-carders, the guys technically not in the main event, but still great talent. Vince is starting to show up now on Monday nights. He's starting to get more involved. I like to see that. I'm not saying they give a fuck about AEW, but I think they're a little shook up about the future plans in 2019 in the world of professional wrestling.
I wouldn't be, if I'm WWE, I wouldn't be scared until 2020 about AEW.
Well, they don't have to be scared of anything, but
AEW,
competition is good for business.
AEW is something I would be worried about.
Well, I agree with that point. And also another women's title match before we break down and get out of here. Ronda Rousey takes on Sasha Banks, the boss. I think it's going to be an unbelievable female main event. Two excellent workers. And obviously looking forward to the 30-man over-the-top Royal Rumble. It's not like the classic traditional Royal Rumble that myself, Mancini, Perez grew up on. I think that Braun Strowman or McIntyre is my odds-on favorite to win that Royal Rumble. Break it down quickly. The 30-man over-the-top. Seth Rollins, maybe.
And the Women's Rumble.
Match. Yep. The Women's Rumble. Break it down, kid.
The Women's Rumble. For the men's, I have Rollins.
Good choice.
I think the Iron Man of that match is going to be Andrade.
Another excellent pick.
I think the Iron Woman for the Women's Rumble match, depending on who loses what title, I think it'll be Becky, because I think Becky is going to win that match.
Kid, are you stumbling, rumbling, bumbling, and fumbling over your words?
You guys are passing a phone between me.
Well, Mancini's showing me something that's very important that we're going to end up talking about as we get closer to the spring, and that's the 2019 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
My God almighty. Joe Bruin just posted Hall of Fame guests, and he had just posted a picture of Big Daddy on Facebook. That's all. I want to show Big Daddy.
That is awesome, Mancini. Again, what we're talking about is Fan Fest 7, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, coming up June 7th and June 8th at the Warwick Crown Plaza. And again, I still can't believe that I'm being inducted all feelings aside with the talent that's going to be there and the past people that have been inducted. I mean, this is literally, that will literally be one of the greatest moments of my life. And that's in all seriousness. I can't even fucking believe it, kid, to be quite honest with you. I don't even know if I am the only independent pro wrestling manager that may have been going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I owe a lot of people, and we'll see that on June 7th and 8th. But I don't want to make this about me. I'm humbled.
So I think Becky Lynch is going to win the Women's Rumble, and then Seth Rollins is going to win the Men's.
That's a nice segue, kid. I like how you wrap that up and tie that up into a little bow.
Tie it up nicely. So I think Rollins and Lynch are going to walk away with wins.
So fans, that's it for episode 11 of Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. Fans, this Friday, free for all. Saturday, New Year's Retribution. NXT TakeOver, WWE Royal Rumble. It doesn't get better than that. Come out and see the 4 former stars, Paul Perez, Mario Mancini, Paul Roma, and Big Steve Tracy. Mancini, take us out of here.
Well, fans, the reason why I was a little absent a little bit is because I tried 3 times to get the Godfather, Tony Capone, on the phone.
Tony Capone will verify it. And by the time we're on the air next, Mancini, I will show you your match with Bundy, and I will show you that I was in the same arena on videos that I've already sent you. And on a condolences note, fans, I forgot to bring this up earlier from the Imus in the Morning show and from the Tough podcast and former FBI director, I believe, or New York City detective. You know I get the information fucked up all the time, but I didn't get this fucked up. I'd like to give my condolences to Bo Dietl. His brother passed away. And from the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast, Bo Dietl and your family, God bless, Godspeed.
God bless Bo Dietl. We'll see everybody next week for episode 12 of the Mario Chaos and the Kid Show. We sign off from the Diadamo and Tracy Bell Bond Studios.